You fool! Warren is dead.
Hello, ladies and gents. I'm pleased to present our 7th 12 Days of Christmas special today, and as requested by many, I'm presenting it in full. This time we're off to the windy fells of the north, lost in the vaults of Crossfell. In the story, an urban explorer discovers an entrance to a secret government facility in Cumbria. An aspiring audioblogger, the young man is eager to chronicle his explorations below ground. Will his thirst for adventure be his undoing? I'd like to thank you all once again for continuing to join us for these specials year in, year out. I may still have a few left in me yet. As always, you'll find chapter times in the description below, and a link to the works of Sean Flynn, whose last-minute contribution saved my bacon, providing the voice of the editor. Merry Christmas all, and a Happy New Year. Lost in the Vaults of Crossfell by Ian Gordon.
The following is a carefully selected and edited batch of unpublished recordings found in an undisclosed location made by the urban explorer and aspiring audio blogger James Leighton Twist of Manchester, England. The last known sighting of the 27-year-old was on June 9, 2003, in the Cumbrian town of Appleby in Westmoreland. His current whereabouts are unknown. Part 1. The Door.
Crossfell, some 20 minutes east of the market town of Penrith, Cumbria, is notable for two reasons. One, it's the highest point in the Pennines, and two, it's the source of the River Tees. It is also, however, lesser known as the base of operations of a clandestine government organization, the Department for Subterranean Research, or DSR, an organization formed at the end of the Second World War, with its interest primarily in underground lakes, underground flora and fauna, and, curiously enough, electromagnetic phenomena. An extensive subterranean facility, designated C07, is located due east of the village of Glencarn.
Monday, June 2nd, first log. What you've just listened to is the only historical reference I've been able to find regarding the existence of the so-called Department for Subterranean Research and the connected facility C07. But who am I, and why am I so interested in this subject? My name is James Twist, and I'm what you might call an urban explorer. I've been up and down the UK, in and out of old and abandoned buildings, churches, asylums, hospitals, even prisons. But my main area of interest is the underground. Spent a lot of time in Manchester's extensive underworld, traipsing through culverts and sewers. Seen some fascinating stuff down there. Some killer toilets, but it's dirty work. I can't tell you how many times I've been physically sick as a result of my adventures below ground. Well, just a few months ago, a cleaner, above-ground adventure resulted in a meeting with a like-minded girl in Keswick. This girl, a proper local, told me about the alleged base at Crossfell. She said she'd grown up in Penrith and, as a teenager, had spent most of her summers exploring the fells nearby, inspired by the rumours of, well, you guessed it, an abandoned research facility in the hills. And although she claimed to have never seen any evidence of it with her own eyes, she was quick to reaffirm her belief in the place's existence, due in no small part to stories of strange encounters in the hills over the years, run-ins with figures not quite human, quadrupeds not quite animal. The closest thing to evidence of the base's existence, she said, was a cave entrance, or something made to resemble a cave entrance, through which she and a friend had once descended, only to come across a solid metal door after a distance of some 10 meters or so. Intriguing, eh? Well, I've been hooked on the idea ever since. Right now, I'm sitting in a guest room belonging to a small B&B in the village of Langwathby, some 5 miles or so from Blencarn, the village mentioned in the archive footage I showed earlier. I've been over this way 2 days now, back and forth between the village and the fell, rummaging about like a golden retriever. But yesterday, much to my surprise and astonishment, I managed to locate the cave entrance as described by my contact in Keswick. And there is indeed a metal door a little distance beyond the opening, a heavy-looking thing, solid steel, lacking adornment of any kind. I examined the lock, a pretty robust mortise lock. Yeah, I'll save some time here by saying that I've come up against locks like this one on more than one occasion. It wouldn't be very wise or even necessary to go into any great detail on the subject of picking it. So what's the plan? Well, I'm armed to the teeth with gear. Headlamp, handheld torches, face mask, lapel mic, condensers, the whole 9 yards. I'm not really a video guy, but if there's anything of note down there, I'll be sure to arrange another visit with a suitably qualified colleague. That said, I've a digital camera and a camcorder on hand in the event that something unmissable crops up. Though talk of electromagnetic phenomena concerns me a bit. Could wreak havoc on my kit. We'll have to see. And no, this isn't the first time I've attempted to access a place like this. Tried to get into Burlington back in 2001. Failed, naturally, but Burlington's a well-known underground facility. This place up here is completely off the grid, so to speak. If people have tried to get in before, there's no evidence of it on or near that steel door. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll begin the next recording at the cave entrance. Twist out. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic live. Monday, June 2nd. Cave entrance. James here. Well, as you can probably hear, it's pissing down up here. To give you some context, I'm about 200 feet up the southeast face of the fell. It's not too demanding getting up here, even in the rain, thanks to what remains of an old path that runs along Crowdundle Beck. But it's easy to miss. There's a dense patch of trees down there that most ramblers will avoid. 2 days on the trot now, I've had my face torn up by rogue branches. Not pleasant. Ah, well. The cave entrance itself is very difficult to spot. No wonder it took me so long to find it. If I hadn't been looking for it, it's very unlikely I'd have stumbled upon it accidentally. It looks southeast, and it's at its narrowest at the entrance. Looking down at the door now, I'm all but certain it had to have been installed from the inside. And that there's probably another entrance somewhere. Yeah, a larger entrance, probably long since sealed up. So, right, well, I'm approaching the door. It really is a big old thing. I'd say it's about, 7 feet tall and 3 feet wide. The way it's situated, you think it had been here for centuries. Listen. Ooh, got butterflies in my stomach. Not sure whether to carry on or run for my life. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a go at this lock. There she goes. Right then. Better see if this actually goes anywhere. Blimey. Okay, so it's a continuation of the passage. Stone walls extending into darkness. Oh, there's a funny smell too. Mustiness, damp. To be expected, of course. Got my headlamp on. Should be sufficient for now. I'm going in. I say it's a continuation of the passage, but it shows evidence of having been hewn. The walls are smoother here. The passage is sloping at a barely perceptible gradient. I'd say 10-15%. Though ahead, I think I'm seeing what appears to be the top of a staircase. Oh dear. Yep, stairs, descending to God knows what. Well, it's the only place to go. So, as you can probably hear on the recording, the steps are metal over stone. They're a bit slippery, actually. I better watch how I go. Oops. One hell of a staircase, this. Not seeing any evidence of it coming to an end anytime soon. My headlamp, which is pretty powerful as far as headlamps go, is revealing steps as far as the eye can see. I'm not looking forward to climbing out of here later. Yeah, this might take a while. I'm going to pause the recording till I reach the bottom. Twist out.
Part 2. The second door.
Phew. Monday, June 2nd. The second door. Well, I've reached the bottom. Took somewhere in the region of 10 minutes to descend. Not a clue how far below the surface I am, but won't even hazard a guess. At the bottom of the stairs here, I'm face to face with another metal door. It's a lot like the one above, except that it's a touch smaller and, well, it looks brand new. Curiously, though, there's a layer of condensation covering the surface. A smooth surface at that. And this one's engraved in bold lettering. C07, Station 4467. Huh. Station 4467. What could that number denote, I wonder? And it probably goes without saying. C07, confirmation that I'm in the right place. How's this place managed to escape documentation over the years? Ooh. Christ, it's freezing. Gonna have a job picking this one. So, what are we dealing with here? Yeah, another mortise. Better watch my fingers. There she goes. My heart's beating like mad. You know that feeling when you're on the verge of committing to a decision you're unsure about? It's like climbing aboard the big one at Blackpool. Well, let's have a gander. Christ, that's cold. Gonna have to give it a good shove. Oof. Huh. What the hell is this place? Bloody lights on in here. Right, well, I won't be needing this. Right, okay. Better describe what I'm seeing. First things first, my headlamp is no longer required. Whatever this place is, this station, it's partially illuminated by fluorescent tubes. I say partially because some of them are busted. I'm looking along the length of a narrow passageway, bright white, floor to ceiling. It's about 4 or 5 feet wide, but unusually high. The ceiling must be at least 15 feet above my head. And the most bizarre reverberation. Can you hear that on the recording? Getting visions of the Grand Gallery. It has that kind of atmosphere. Hello? 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 Echo? 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 Hello? 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 Whoa. Never seen or heard anything like this before, and I've got to wonder why the power is still on down here. And it's so bloody cold. I'm plunging my arm into the passage, and I can feel the chill biting my fingers. The fact that it's June doesn't make much difference when you're below ground. You expect a constant lower temperature, but this feels artificial. I wonder what's behind it. I'm going to head into the passage. Can't see any cameras or surveillance equipment of any kind. Is that a good sign? I don't know. Again, as you can probably hear, I'm walking on a metallic surface. It doesn't look like metal, more like marble. Same with the walls, entirely free of embellishment. And everything, just like the door, is coated with a fine layer of condensation. It's like the inside of a fridge when the door's been left open. And Jesus, that's cold. Better keep my hands to myself. I'm looking straight ahead, but I can't tell how long the corridor is. The glare of the light seems to be producing an optical illusion, the idea that I'm traversing an endless tunnel. It's hard to describe. What might the purpose of a passage like this be? Yeah, I think I can see something up ahead now. Could be another door or an opening of some sort. I hope so. It's bloody freezing in here. I'm in 2 thin layers and it's got to be close to 0. Back in a minute. Twist out. Monday, June 2nd. The antechamber. I'm back. Emergency sweater is on and I've moved on a bit. The blot on the horizon was indeed an opening. I'm standing in a small room or hall, An antechamber with a large set of double doors on the opposite side. The lighting is poor in here. Most of the overhead tubes are dead, but I can see a metal table in the middle of the room. It doesn't feel as cold either. Well, I'm heading towards the table. Okay, I don't like it. Looks like a surgical table or something. Stainless steel. And on top of it, a single manila envelope. Looks soggy. I'm going to leave that there for now. I want a closer look at those doors. So the doors don't appear to be locked. Again, they're solid metal, typical security doors. On the surface of the right one, there's a bit of text. It says, Station 4467, Vessel AST. AST. Oh, AST. What's that then? Vessel. I should probably have a peek. No, I can't see a thing. Dead silent, too. I'm not sure I want to go any further right now. Something feels off. Suppose the whole thing is off. Shouldn't really be here, should I? Either way, it's too bloody cold. I need better kit if I come back again. Yeah, I think you know when it's time to leave. I'm going to grab that envelope and get the hell out of here. Yeah, it's damp, all right. That's it for now. I think I'll inspect the contents of the envelope in the safety of the B&B. Twist out. Testing. 1, 2. Monday, June 2nd. The envelope. James here. I'll just start by saying, what the actual hell? So, a few things. I'm back at the B&B in Langwathby. Safe again in my room on the first floor. It's dark outside now. Still raining though. God, there's something about the comfort of a hotel room after a day's wandering in the hills, isn't there? The warmth in here is soothing. I feel fantastic. Yeah, but now I'm just rambling. Suffice it to say that nothing followed me out of C07. Well, apart from the shivers, as I backtracked along the length of that weird corridor and climbed those appalling stairs. Tried to count them on the way back up. Some 500 in all, which, I'd say, given the height of a typical step, suggests that the facility lies at least 300 feet below the surface. Speaking of doors, I locked them again on the way out. Can't be too careful, considering what I found down there. Which brings me back to my initial statement. What the actual hell? I have the mouldering manila envelope in front of me. Jesus. It contained 3 items in all. A floor plan, an excerpt from a poem, and a short typed letter. This latter item being the most disturbing. I'll tackle one at a time. The floor plan. Well, at some point I'd like to display this somewhere and talk about it, but for the sake of making a record of my discovery, I'll describe it here as best I can. It's a piece of lined paper, with a number of areas drawn out in pencil. Other than the code C03, there's no text to work with, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent. Looks like several lines have been blotted out. The poetry excerpt, printed on a piece of plain white paper. You'll have to forgive me here, I don't know much about reading poetry. The place where to descend the precipice we came was rough as Alp, and on its verge such object lay as every eye would shun. Not sure what that's all about. And lastly, the bewildering note. Fare thee well, Mr. Twist. 'Tis a cupboard of dreams, boundless nightmares, continuous screams. I'll say it again. What the hell? A scrap of paper lying on a table in a locked-up facility, 300 feet below a mountain, and it has my name on it. Question is, have I got the nerve to go back? Somehow I feel like I have to. Twist out.
Part 3. UrbanUnreality.
Tuesday, June 3rd. A bit of research. James Twist speaking. It's Tuesday, June 3rd, 2003. I'm here in the village of Langwathby, 5 miles northwest of Blencarn, preparing to return to the little-known government facility C07, ostensibly constructed by the Department for Subterranean Research. Constructed after the Second World War? I suppose the base could be older, the post-war thing being an assumption based on a single reference to the site in that 1955 featurette. I have to admit that my visit to the base yesterday has affected me, but I'm not quite sure how. It was only after leaving the place that I, realised how strange it was, utterly unlike anything I've explored before. I had a tough time sleeping last night. I know that my dreams were chaotic. Don't remember much about them, though. Only that I was lost in a labyrinth of some sort, forced to crawl on my hands and knees through something hot, dark, and tar-like. I woke up several times, breathless, horrible, and I had a splitting headache this morning. Not even coffee would shift it. I had to settle for a couple of painkillers in the end. Well, anyway, I went for a wander after a very early breakfast. Needed the fresh air. Did my best to look inconspicuous. Never an easy task for an outsider. I exchanged pleasantries with the locals, but so far I've refrained from discussing the base with any of them, mainly because I'm not sure I want them following me into the hills. I mean, a place like that has to have left an impression on the local community. It can't have been installed without the knowledge of those living nearby, though I have to note that I've seen very few seniors around. Young families for the most part. Not that that means knowledge of the site couldn't have been passed down through the generations. And of course it goes without saying that my contact in Keswick knew about the place. She made it very clear that many a Penrithian was aware of the facility on some level. And now that I say it out loud, that statement itself is rather curious, isn't it? Knew about it on some level. What kind of level? How many levels? Okay, calm down, James. The point being, I'm keeping my activities to myself, keeping a low profile. Ramblers come through here on a daily basis, so it's practical for me to assume the role of a hiker, just your average backpacker. Regardless, I'm spurred on by yesterday's discovery. The manila envelope and its peculiar contents. The floor plan, the weird poetry excerpt, from Dante's Inferno, by the way, and the what the hell weird-ass line of text including my name. A cupboard of dreams, boundless nightmares, continuous screams. Phrases like that shouldn't inspire a person to pursue their source, but what kind of explorer would I be if I resisted a call like that? I asked the community at large. When there hopefully is a community at large. And here's that Inferno excerpt again. The place where to descend the precipice we came was rough as alp, and on its verge such object lay as every eye would shun. It's from Canto 12 of Inferno, where Virgil and Dante encounter the Minotaur. Something else I came across is connected directly to this. I'll show you how shortly. I did a bit of online research last night, which is how I discovered the excerpt was from Dante's Inferno. This floor plan labelled C03 got me pondering the possibility that C07 could be one of several facilities. A fairly logical conclusion, I think. I looked for articles referring to subterranean research, paying special attention to articles including mention of electromagnetic phenomena. My numerous searches yielded a mixed bag of results, but I was able to determine, thanks to a number of forums dealing with conspiracy theories and the like, that there are allegedly facilities across the globe dedicated to such research. Rumours of an abandoned site near Cherry Creek, Nevada, in the United States, and another on the outskirts of Tbilisi, Georgia. Contentious claims, of course, but certainly of interest. I think that the letter C denotes the county, in this case Cumbria, but I could be way off with that. Could there really be at least 7 such bases tucked away in the fells of the northwest? Surely not. There's a forum post I need to reference. Back in a mo. Twist out. Tuesday, June 3rd. Jack Barlow. I'm back. Okay, so I'm on this website, UrbanUnreality. It's one of the conspiracy theory forums I mentioned previously. A user on there, Bibby223, Bibby, and the digits 223, posted something interesting on December 21st, 2001, a post regarding the disappearance of an urban explorer called Jack Barlow. Like me, this Barlow guy liked to explore sites alone with a microphone. Wasn't an audio blogger, mind, just liked to keep a spoken record of his exploits. I get it completely. Cameras are awkward underground, and specialist night vision kit is expensive. A simple mic makes it easy for you to get your thoughts down, without having to worry about wielding cumbersome cameras and stubborn tripods. Anyway, this user, Bibby223, claimed to have come into possession of a transcript of what are said to be Barlow's last known recordings. Quick point on that. The user doesn't say how exactly he came into possession of it. A bit odd, really, as Barlow remains missing to this day. In all likelihood, the police made the transcript from the master recordings, presumably seized from Barlow's hotel room, and this Bibby character got his hands on a portion of it somehow. Who knows? Well, whether or not the contents of the transcript have any basis in reality, it immediately caught my interest, due to the way it was titled. Exploring C05. Intriguing, eh? In his preface to the transcript, Bibby223 explains that Barlow was last seen in the lobby of the Southview Hotel, Millham, in the county of, you guessed it, Cumbria. I'm going to read it for you now. Note that it starts kind of abruptly, so it's impossible to surmise where the first portion of the master recordings were made. Transcript follows.
Part 4. Barlow's Transcript.
Begin transcript. Barlow. Jesus, what the hell is this place? It's all stone. Nothing like the corridor and chamber back there. It's a wide open space, all cobbled, moisture in the air. It's very close, very humid actually, stifling. I can smell greenery, but not trees or shrubbery per se, more like damp moss. What's the best way to describe it? Like a summer evening on the Med after rain. Wish I had a more powerful torch. Clicks torch on and off. This place is enormous. It's like the interior of a cathedral or something. There are pillars along either side, gigantic pillars that seem inconsistent with the rest of the place. I've got to wonder now if this place is actually part of the facility, or something that the facility has been built on top of, built to conceal, or perhaps to protect. I can hear running water somewhere. I wonder if the mic is picking that up. Recording stops abruptly. Recording starts. Testing. I'm live again. My gear cut out completely. Torch, mic, everything went shebang. Spent 5 minutes fumbling in my bag before everything just came back on. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. The really strange thing, though, and this is going to sound very peculiar indeed, is that I'm sure the ambient sound cut out as well. The running water, that drone too. Did I mention the drone? Just listen to it. It's faint, I know, but I'd be surprised if the condenser isn't picking it up. Steps forward a couple of paces. I've noticed something directly ahead of me. I'd say it's about 50 meters or so beyond the double doors. Something spherical, on top of which I think is some sort of altar. Got to have a closer look. Continues forward. Sound is so odd in here. My voice isn't reverberating at all. It's almost as though there's an invisible veil around me, dampening it, if that makes any sense whatsoever. The sound of stone sliding across stone is heard. There it goes again. A heavy door sliding open. That's got to be what it is. But I can't pinpoint its location. Can't tell where it's coming from. Nothing appears to have followed the sound. I'm half expecting to hear marching feet at this stage, but nothing at all. Just the running water and that constant drone. I can see the altar clearly now. There's something on top of it. It's a speaker. An old cabinet-style speaker in mahogany. Looks ancient. Buzzing speaker is heard. And it's switched on, apparently. Electronic voice sounds over speaker. Malfunction. Station beep. Dreamer 24512-239. Status conscious. Malfunction. Barlow. What the hell? Speaker. Malfunction. Station beep. Dreamer 24512-239. Status conscious. Malfunction. Stone sliding across stone is heard again. A large animal roars. Barlow. What the fuck? Galloping sound is heard. Further animal roars. Barlow yells. Something knocks him to the ground. Speaker. Malfunction. Station beep. Dreamer 24512. Recording stops. Recording starts. Barlow. I'm not sure what happened. I'm by the gate outside. Last thing I remember, something knocked me down. Something big. I heard it roaring. But how did I get here? All my stuff is with me. Torch is still on. Mic's still on. I need to get away from here. Recording stops. Recording starts. Barlow. I'm back at the hotel. Couldn't stand the idea of being so close to that place. My head's full of awful things. A big creature, tall and horned. I've just been playing the recordings back. Jesus Christ, the sound of that thing. What's going on? And that speaker. That garbled message talking about malfunctions and dreamers. Need to think. God knows how I'll sleep tonight. Recording stops. Recording starts. Barlow. I don't know what time it is, but it's still dark. Just had a shocker of a nightmare. I dreamt I was back there, in the station. Walked on the cobblestones between the pillars, heard the running water, tasted the humidity in the air, and on the altar, sitting on top of it, right where the speaker had been, was the monster. Half man, half bull, gazing down at me, a guttural growl emanating from its bulging throat. In the dream, there was a man beside me. Was I Virgil and he Dante? Like me, resonated fear as we approached the creature on the altar. We moved as though through sludge, so typical of a nightmare, slow and seemingly incapable of speech. And then the creature leapt from the altar, landing with an echoing thud as its monstrous hooves came into contact with the old stones. It roared, saliva dripping from its malformed mouth, and then it charged. We turned, Dante and I, our heavy feet all but glued to the ground, and we fled as the creature gave chase. But we ran as though through treacle, and still incapable of communication, the heavy footfalls of the monster hot on our heels. Closer and closer it came, its foul breath at our necks, its clumsy, three-fingered hands reaching to crush us in their grip. I awoke then, soaked through with sweat, struggling to catch my breath. And here I am, spitting it out while it's still fresh in my mind. The heat of the place, the heat of the chase. I've crossed a line, I know it. Gone too far, stumbled across something that Stone sliding across stone is heard again. A large animal roars. Barlow. What? Again, galloping sound is heard, followed by animal roar. Barlow yells. Recording stops. End transcript. Well, there it is. The transcript of Jack Barlow's final recordings, allegedly. There are 3 reasons that immediately come to mind to consider the account authentic. 1. The title, Exploring C05. If the base here at Crossfell is C07, then it stands to reason, as per my earlier surmises, that C05 indicates another Cumbrian base. 2. Use of the term station. Again, a word I've seen myself on several doors in C07. Weird that the station number is recorded as beep, though. And 3. The overt reference to Virgil and Dante, and a half-man, half-bull creature. Canto 12 of Inferno talks about the passage to the first ring of the 7th circle of hell, where Virgil and Dante encounter the Minotaur, the very same segment from which that excerpt I found in the manila envelope is taken. Again, for reference, the excerpt. The place where to descend the precipice we came was rough as Alp, and on its verge such object lay as every eye would shun. What does it all mean? What did Barlow find at C05? An underground temple? A labyrinth inspired by the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur? A circle of hell? Makes me wonder what I might find on the other side of those double doors down there in Station 4467. The one marked Vessel, AST. I've got goosebumps. By the way, it's probably worth making mention of some of the replies to that forum post on UrbanUnreality. Most of the replies are just generic comments along the lines of wow and crazy if true. But one user, Gifted Slim, one word, suggests that the base Barlow discovered was off the Cumbrian coast, accessed via Montague Fell, near Ravenglass. But that comment is the only reference to such a place I can find online. Might be worth contacting this Gifted Slim in the coming weeks/months. Well, that's all I've got for now. Got some prep to do if I'm going to head out to C07 again today. Twist out.
Part 5. The Second Descent.
Tuesday, June 3rd, ready to head out. James here. June 3rd. It's a little after 10 a.m. I'm about ready to set off. My bag is packed for a long day out. Spare batteries, trail mix, sandwiches, water, etc. Carrying a fleece with me today, which I'm sure will be very welcome the moment I step into that cold corridor again. Still stuck on that forum post, exploring C05, Barlow's transcript. I've got the jitters, to tell you the truth. Something doesn't sit right with me. References to mythical creatures and whatnot. An excerpt from a 14th century poem alongside a snippet of text with my name on it. It's crazy. Those words keep going round and round in my head. 'Tis a cupboard of dreams, boundless nightmares, continuous screams. Barlow, if that transcript is to be believed, screamed. Screamed as he was attacked by something half man, half bull. Here's another excerpt from Inferno. Like to a bull that with impetuous spring darts, at the moment when the fatal blow hath struck him, but unable to proceed, plunges on either side. So I plunge, the Minotaur. The Minotaur. It's one of the first things I think of when somebody mentions Greek mythology. The idea of it has always haunted me. And not just the creature itself, but the way it came to be, and the horrifying architecture of the labyrinth to which it was confined, awaiting human sacrifices. Was Barlow tripping down there or what? Half man, half bull? BS, gotta be. Not gonna put a curious cat like me off. Twist out. Tuesday, June 3rd. The double doors. I'm back. Well, to be precise, I'm standing at the second door, located at the bottom of the never-ending staircase. Didn't see a single soul on the way over here. Calm day all in all. Overcast, but dry. Followed Crowdundle Beck, pushed through the dense trees and climbed to the cave entrance without a hitch. Made light work of the outer door, descended the stairs, and just now picked the door in front of me. Something's different, though. The door isn't full of condensation today. It's bone dry, in fact. Or should that be metal dry? Whatever. Let's have a look at the state of things inside. Yeah, the door isn't cold at all now. The lights are still on, but it's not cold. There's an atmosphere of neutrality about the place, if that makes sense. The walls are, well, lukewarm. A pleasant temperature, really. So what does it mean, this shift in temperature? Does it have something to do with me cracking the door open yesterday? Have I interrupted some process of refrigeration? Can't wrap my head around it. That mustiness I detected on entering the cave yesterday is now noticeable here too. It smells like a cramped cupboard in an old house. A cupboard housing mould in addition to the vacuum cleaners and dusty mops. My grandma's place has cupboards like that. Yeah, but she's too far gone to notice. Still dead in here, though. No signs of activity. The moment I noticed the lack of condensation back there, my first thought was that somebody had been in here after me. You know, like a security guard or something. But I suppose it's impossible to say if anybody has been in here. What kind of evidence would they have left behind? The metallic floor is, well, it's immaculate. Yeah, I'll just keep going. What's the worst that could happen anyway? I've been escorted off sites before. Besides, I found a letter with my name on it down here. My arrival was anticipated, possibly. No, but that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's obviously just a coincidence. I'm hardly the only Mr. Twist in the UK. Nobody knows I'm down here. I haven't told a soul. But still, it's weird. Should I be nervous? Should I keep asking myself rhetorical questions? What if there's a half-man, half-bull thing lying in wait? Nah, come on. I'm on edge. Overwrought nerves are responsible for my jabbering on. I suppose there's comfort in the presence of a microphone. It provides the illusion of company. I can see myself listening at the other end of the wire, some weeks in the future, listening to these words, sharing the journey with myself. In more ways than one, I'm in my own company right now. Enough of that. I'm approaching the antechamber where I found the manila envelope. Nothing appears to have changed in here. I'm looking at the metal table, sans the envelope. You know what? I'm not sure, but I think I can hear something. A low, whirring sound. I'm straining to pick it up, but it sounds like some sort of electrical hum. Well, there's got to be something powering this place. Yeah, now I've got a headache again. Should have skipped coffee this morning. Did you hear that? I'm talking to you, listener. Sounded like a door sliding open. And it undoubtedly came from the other side of the double doors ahead of me. Yeah, just 1 minute. Just going to listen a sec. Yeah. Could have been anything. Wait a minute. This text on the door. Station 4467. Vessel asked. AST. AST rings a bell now. It's an acronym, I think. Something I read last night. What was it now? Yeah, I can't think of it right now. Well, now I'm back inside, standing in front of these doors. I've got that feeling again. The feeling that something's off about this place, and that I probably shouldn't be here. And yet, at the same time, there's an inevitability about it all. I mean, I'm here, aren't I? I don't want to get too philosophical about it, but there's probably a reason I've ended up here, face to face with these doors. Well, I suppose I'd better see what's on the other side of them. Headlamp, on. Okay. I'm going in.
Part 6. Beyond the Double Doors.
Tuesday, June 3rd. Everything went shebang. I'm back. For an instant there, everything cut out. Torch, mics, everything. My mind immediately went to Barlow's transcript when he said, everything went shebang. I'm sure he said everything cut out for several minutes, though. Either way, I don't like it. My heart's pounding here. I've never been an anxious person, level-headed for the most part, but I'm genuinely on edge. This headache isn't helping. I read something about electromagnetic anomalies causing migraines, nausea, etc. Perhaps whatever it was that caused the power outage is the same thing that's doing a number on my skull. Well, Jesus. Anyway, I'm not ready to turn back yet, I'm going to press on a bit. I'm standing in another corridor, pitch black in here. Headlamp's doing a reasonable job of illuminating my immediate surroundings, though. The walls are bare, plastered, I think. But the floor, it's carpeted. It's a patterned carpet, very 70s. Burnt orange circles and dark brown waves. How weird is this? I'm seeing bulbs above my head, thinking there must be a light switch somewhere. Yeah, There's a panel of switches on the wall to my left. I'm not sure if I should mess with them yet. Surefire way to announce my arrival. What's this? There's a floor plan or something next to the panel. It's completely unlabeled, looks ridiculously complex. I'm looking at an intricate grid system. Boxes representing rooms and God knows how many interconnected corridors. I'm going to grab a photo of it. Honestly, this carpet is freaking me out. I hope they haven't attempted to recreate the Overlook Hotel down here. Anyway, I'm going to head down the corridor a bit. I want to see what's up ahead before I start messing with light switches. It's dead silent down here, hence me whispering. Can't hear that hum now either. If you could see the expression on my face, every step is accompanied by a wince. I really don't want to get rumbled down here. It's too weird for words. Can't imagine what the purpose of it is. Endless talk online about electromagnetic fluctuations and disturbances, but what does that even mean? All sorts of theories on UrbanUnreality and the like, but nothing specific, just vagaries and rumours. The only thing I've got to work with at the moment is that Barlow account. What sounds to me like the description of an underground temple in that other base. But wait a sec. I think I can see a door. Yeah, it's a door, all right, up on my right. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a blue door, quite heavy by the look of it, with a small porthole window inset. The glass is opaque, though, so I can't see what's on the other side. Weird. Well, let's see if it's unlocked. Seems it is. I'm going in. What's this, then? It looks like a typical laboratory to me. Fairly compact, tiled floors, plain walls, a couple of workbenches, some weird apparatus lying about, heavy-looking vats, stained pipes, and... What's that? I'm not sure. A bunch of wall-mounted panels with umpteen dials and buttons. Looks pretty old. Can't be operational. I'm on the lookout for documents, really. Got to be something lying around that can shed light on the nature of this place. Empty drawers. Empty cabinet. Great. Wait. I can hear something. A crackling sound. What's this, then? Huh. There's an old tape recorder tucked away back here. Christ, it's an oldie. Reel-to-reel tech in a leather carry case. Not sure about the crackling. Seems to be coming from a vent at the back of this alcove. I'll be taking this recorder with me, I think. That sliding sound again. What is that? Oh, shit. I'm gonna get busted down here, I know it. Oh, shit. There's definitely someone else down here. I have to give up the search for today. Yeah, I need to get out. Gonna kill the recording for now. Twist out. Tuesday, June 3rd. Back at the B&B. Whew! The relief washes over. Jesus, that was scary. I'm back at the B&B. It's just gone 4 p.m. Ended up stuck in that bloody lab for about an hour. Whatever was mooching around down there got a little too close for my liking. In hindsight, I can't say I heard anything too terrifying. It was just the prospect of being caught down there that had me on edge. I think it's safe to say that there was definitely someone else roaming around in there, but whether or not their purpose was to locate me, I can't really say. Thank God I didn't mess with those light switches. I mean, okay, I think I heard somebody. Just listen back to the latter portion of the recording, and I'm not so sure now that those sounds were actually footsteps. Might have been something to do with the ventilation system. But I don't know. I mean, I did just say there was definitely someone else roaming around in there. Who knows? It's always like this when you're on location. Every sound is exaggerated by your senses. Every creak is caused by a 30-foot step. Every gust of air is attributed to the breath of a creature lying in wait. It's only afterwards, when you're in the safety of home or whatever, that you can reconsider those impressions. Regardless, I have in my possession now a Grundig portable tape recorder, circa 1971. It's in decent condition too, considering the fact it's been sitting underground for over 3 decades. Has the base been abandoned, or is it still in use? The lab was certainly in use in the early 70s. Everything in that room looked like it belonged to that era. If the base hasn't been abandoned, then where's all the modern stuff? Do I have to delve deeper into the station to find evidence of more recent activity? Of course, the next logical step is to see if I can get this recorder working. Looks to be a pair of loudspeakers built into it, and there's a 2-pin power cable attached. I've got an adapter in my bag somewhere. More significantly, though, there's tape in the damn thing. I'll see what I can do, and return with my findings shortly. Twist out.
Part 7. The Tape.
Tuesday, June 3rd. Playback. Right, well, managed to get the tape recorder working. Nothing to it, really. Connected the 2-pin to the adapter and Bob's your uncle. The tape itself is a little crackly, but no surprise there. It was probably just as crackly when it was made, which, as the voice announces on the tape, was back in 1975. Anyway, I've mic'd the recorder up with the condensers, and I'm going to play the whole thing back and record it. My comments will follow. Here we go.
November 25th, 1975. 7th and final session of season. Brooker, Stephen. White male, mid-30s. Condition CTT. Initial observations suggest that the cavity is now at 83% capacity. Brooker's contribution accounts for a 35% expansion, very significant. With cavity at 100% capacity, Conduit 7's influence will extend above ground, nullifying the need for covert experimentation. News from other sites. C01 sits at 65% capacity, C02 at a pitiful 11%, C03 offline, C04 yet to report, C05 progress ahead of the rest at 91%, and C06 at 45%, C08 37%, C09 62%. Predict full capacity in 4, possibly 5 years. Conduits on standby. Addendum. Stanton reports new discovery in Central Europe. Austria-Germany border. A tentative C10.
There you have it. Brief and vague, but certainly indicative of something weird going on down there in the station. Multiple stations across the country, apparently. And if that addendum is anything to go by, as well as some of those rumours I mentioned relating to alleged sites in the United States and Georgia, across the world. I'm at to conclude that the C in C07 stands for conduit. The unnamed voice states conduit 7 quite clearly. I suppose I shouldn't be making assumptions at this stage. Assumptions result in flawed expectations. Keep asking questions. Who's this Brooker character? What was his contribution? What does condition CTT mean? Cavities, capacities. Jesus, I'm lost. And then there's this discovery in Central Europe. Well, if nothing else, I've obtained some new search terms for my research. Perhaps a visit to the library in Penrith is in order too. Might be some old newspaper cuttings that haven't been digitised. Safer bet than going to the local authority. I think I'm onto something here. Something weird and absolutely hush-hush. There's one thought above all others that's bugging me, though. This recording was made almost 30 years ago, and it states that certain conduits were then approaching capacity, whatever that means. The guy says, predict full capacity in 4, possibly 5 years. What on earth might it mean for those conduits to have been exerting their influence above ground for the last quarter of a century? Influence over what exactly? The thought, vague though it is, based on so little information, fills my stomach with tempestuous butterflies. Safe to say I won't be heading back into that place anytime soon. Got to clarify some things before taking any more risks. And there's still that note to be explained. Fare thee well, Mr. Twist. 'Tis a cupboard of dreams, boundless nightmares, continuous screams. Better tread carefully. Twist out.
Part 8. A Cupboard of Dreams.
Thursday, June 5th. Penrith Library. James here. June 5th. I'm pretty sure C07 has something to do with dreams, or dreaming. Perhaps all of the facilities do. I don't know. After all, it's in that phrase, isn't it? A cupboard of dreams, boundless nightmares, etc. Anyway, I'm back in Manchester, recording in the office. Once you've experienced C07, it leaves a palpable impression, believe me. Like a thorn you can't dislodge. I had to get away for a while. But let me backtrack slightly. Yesterday, June 4th, I went to Penrith Library with a story to tell. I'm a travel writer, I said, writing a piece on Crossfell. Background in geography, I blacked. I'm particularly interested in the lay of the land. Not sure how convincing I was, but convincing enough apparently. I was promptly given access to the microfilm viewer and spent a couple of hours perusing old articles as printed in the Cumberland and Westmoreland Herald, as well as other publications. Nothing whatsoever on the construction of a massive facility under Crossfell, but plenty of snippets relating to strange sightings and unexplained phenomena. And not just the ordinary folklore stuff either, the Grey Lady of Krakenthorpe being a good example of that. We're talking missing time, inexplicable migraines followed by weird visions, groups of unusually tall men yelling at ramblers, even one report of teleportation. This latter event occurred in the 60s, apparently. A young girl, hiking with her parents in the hills, inexplicably vanished from the group, only to quickly reappear several hundred meters ahead of them. The girl would later say that she stumbled into a dark tunnel and wandered through it for what felt like hours, came out the other end completely transformed, didn't recognize her parents to begin with. When asked to describe the tunnel, the girl simply said it was like being asleep. The simple act of walking was painstaking, running even more so. In the end, she'd resorted to crawling slowly, as though through thick mud or tar. I made a bunch of notes on the most interesting cases, one being another of those tall yelling men reports. A rambler, Turner I think he was called, said he'd seen a horde of lanky, slim albino fellows on a precipitous rocky outcrop above him. Said they were just huddled together, screaming over and over again, "Ah, me, oh Satan, Satan," which I learned from the same article was, yet again, a quote from Dante's Inferno, Canto 7, C07. I shivered when I read that. Another coincidence or what? What is it with Dante in that place? In short, there were loads of similar reports, but I can't see the point in regurgitating them all here. Main reason being is that I then discovered something even stranger and much more significant. Be back with the details shortly. Twist out. Thursday, June 5th. We dream of a house. James here. So, after visiting the library on a hunch, I bought a couple of newspapers, all dated June 4th. Near the back of the Penrith Post, I spotted the intriguingly titled article, We Dream of a House. The article, consisting of 6 paragraphs, reads as follows. We Dream of a House by J. Leary. We've all experienced sleepless nights, staring up at that shaft of light creeping in through the crack in the curtains, flipping the pillow over in pursuit of that inimitable cooling relief. Bad dreams, night terrors. But what of recurring dreams, those often unpleasant episodes in which we find ourselves falling from great heights, searching desperately for the loo, exploring foreign rooms in familiar buildings? Well, What if you and others in your vicinity had the same dreams? Not just similar, mind, precisely the same. Falling from the same cliffs, searching for the same toilets, exploring the same rooms. Michael Jacobson of Nicholson Lane writes, "Every night I'm falling, just falling down and down and down for what feels like days. I look to my left and right and I see others. One of them is often a neighbour of mine. Can you imagine the look on my face when I happened to tell her about the dream, only to discover that she'd dreamt the same thing?" Suzanne Broxton of Windsor Drive writes, "I'm always looking for the loo in my dreams. Always. I'm just looking for toilets the whole time, but I can never find one. It's not that I need to go either. Not like I'm waking up afterwards with a full bladder. But the really weird thing is finding out that some of my friends are having the same dream too. A couple of them, Paul and Alison, both called on me to say they'd seen me in their dreams more than once. And guess what they were doing in their dreams? Looking for toilets." And Deirdre Morrison of Clifford Road writes, "We dream of a house. Me, my mum, my brother, and at least 3 of my neighbours. We don't know why we're there or how we got there, but each time we find ourselves standing in a dark corridor. It's faintly lit by dim bulbs overhead, revealing a horrible stretch of carpet. Barefooted, we walk along the corridor in this big old house, looking for a way out. We never find it." Do you have a similar story to tell? If so, write to etc., etc. Very interesting indeed. Dark corridor, bulbs overhead, carpeted. Sounds a hell of a lot like what I found down there in station 4467. Not dreaming of it yet though, thank God. But all these people, all from the same neck of the woods, dreaming together. Dreaming, for the most part, of mundane things. It's more than just weird. But anyway, as I said, I'm back home, doing my best to wrap my head around all this stuff. Not an easy task. I'll be back when I've got more to say on the subject. Twist out.
With the piggies, swimming with the pigs, swimming with the piggies. Swimming with the piggies, piggies. Swimming with the pigs. Shouldn't be running. Where are you going?
Part 9. Boundless Nightmares.
Saturday, June 7th. Unfinished business. James here. June 7th. Slept pretty badly these last few nights. All that joshing about dreaming has come back to haunt me, it seems. Mazes, corridors, wading through mud. It's killing me. Think I'm gonna have to head back up to Cumbria. I can't shake the idea of there being unfinished business to tend to up there. I've read about spelunkers. You just aren't satisfied until they've explored every nook and cranny of a given system. They go back, over and over again, until the place has been completely charted. There are some exceptions to this, of course. Some systems go on and on and on. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky springs to mind. My God, how many hundreds of miles have been charted down there? It beggars belief. I suppose the point I'm making is that I can't leave a place unexplored, insurmountable obstacles notwithstanding. That carpeted passageway down there in 4467, how long is it? What about that floor plan I saw near the panel of switches? Got the photograph I took of it here. As far as I can tell, it indicates a massive complex. A giant base that simply has to be full of secrets. More tape recorders and documents, perhaps. Data explaining the nature of these mysterious conduits, what it means to be at full capacity, and all that. I must be mad, I know that. But I'm like one of those spelunkers or those rock climbers who inexplicably scale mountain faces without safety equipment. Mountaineers who simply have to reach the tops of the tallest mountains. It's the human condition, innit? Challenge set, challenge achieved. Or blind curiosity in my case. Insatiable curiosity. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. If I don't, I'll continue to dream about it, become haunted by it. Perhaps I already am haunted by it. I'm sure as hell obsessed by it. Anyway, there I go again with the rambling. One more trip. A cautious incursion. I'm going to end this recording with an audio clip I found on UrbanUnreality. Not sure who the speaker is, because the clip was shared by a now inactive user called Philip9000. Not sure when it was recorded either, but the speaker discusses a condition, as he calls it, called REPT, R-E-P-T, a condition attributed to individuals exposed to electromagnetic anomalies in natural caves. Not a clue what REPT stands for, but at least we get a description of it. Philip9000 says in his post that the recording came from a lab in southern Nevada. So little to work with, but so tantalizing if genuine. Well, here it is. The final sentence in particular caught my interest.
No longer do we search for gold and silver here in El Dorado Canyon. We study anomalies. It's a dangerous place. The region is peppered with open mine shafts. A swift plunge into the depths has put an end to the studies of many a predecessor. But REPT continues to be the biggest and most dangerous challenge we face here in Clark County. Since the cross was discovered last summer, subjects exposed to it have manifested REPT symptoms immediately, generally in the following order: headache, nausea, delirium. Hallucinations vary in intensity. Bright colors, orbs, that sort of thing. Through to encounters with spirits and demons, monsters even, intelligent beings with which subjects enter into conversation. All dialogue is recorded and transcribed for later study. 19 deceased, 2 catatonic, 2 unaffected. We'll check in with C03 tomorrow. Session 2.
Some interesting things going on there. Hallucinations in the presence of electromagnetic anomalies. There we go again. Some very specific locations mentioned too. From what I can see online, lots of mines in that El Dorado Canyon area, most of them surrounding the ghost town of Nelson. Would love to visit. Oh, God knows what's hidden out there. That said, it seems there's plenty of stuff hidden in my own backyard, isn't there? But, as I said, the final sentence caught my attention. Not to mention that catatonic thing. Catatonic? CTT? We'll check in with C03 tomorrow. C03. The very site noted as being offline in the December 1975 tape recording I found at C07. Confirms the authenticity of the recording as far as I'm concerned, that there really is a C03, and it's somewhere in the United States, possibly Nevada. So I'm asking that question again. What does it all mean? What's been going on at these facilities over the years? This thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger, stranger and stranger. Well, gonna leave it there for now. Got a trip to organise. Twist out.
With the piggies, swimming with the pigs, swimming with the piggies.
At the bottom of the lake.
Whoa, wait, who's that? Who's there?
Jane.
Jane? Where are you? I can't see anything.
I don't know, it's dark. Can't see you either.
What's that? Is that you?
I don't know, it isn't me.
Hello?
What the hell is that?
Shh.
Sunday, June 8th. In my dreams. James here. June 8th. Things are getting weird. Well, things have been pretty weird for a while now, I know that, but it seems that somehow my recording equipment set itself recording last night without my intervention. But if that isn't odd enough, the content of the recording took it to another level. I'm singing to begin with, and someone else sings back to me. I then enter into a brief dialogue with this person before some sort of creature turns up and launches itself at me. I have no recollection whatsoever of these events. Was it a dream? What else could it have been? I very much doubt that I'm able to manifest other voices in my sleep, but the alternative is even more disturbing. Was someone else in the room with me prior to me waking up? The same person who triggered the recording? It just can't be the case. I searched the house thoroughly. Doors locked, windows closed. It's the strangest thing. Oh God, I need to think about this. The idea that I'm potentially speaking as someone else in my sleep disturbs the hell out of me. I must have triggered that recording myself somehow. A sane person would be having second thoughts about returning to a place like C07, but not this nutjar. I'm all but certain this dream recording has something to do with my investigations, my nosing about. It's pretty damn curious, got to admit that. Well, twist out.
Part 10. Return to C07.
Sunday, June 8th. Another B&B. James here. June 8th. Well, after another lengthy drive, I'm back in Cumbria. I'm in Appleby and Westmoreland this time. Didn't want to tempt fate by staying in Langwathby again. Paranoia, perhaps, but I had the creeping feeling that some of the locals, including the B&B owners there, had started to look at me a bit funny. Could sense that behind closed doors they were asking questions about me. Who is that guy? That lone hiker who disappears into the hills day in, day out, with a heavy-looking backpack. What's he doing up there? What's he up to? Appleby is more of a market town, a bit more built up, which allows for a little more anonymity, just another face going about his business. I've rented a sizable room in a guest house on the outskirts of town, overlooking the River Eden. It's a beautiful spot, but I'm not here for the scenery. Gonna take it easy though this time. It's Sunday, there's a lot of people out walking today. Saw them in droves on the drive over here. I'll be heading up to C07 tomorrow. Monday's the perfect day for a spot of clandestine rummaging. Fewer ramblers about at least. I'll grab some food in town and hide away up here. Charge up the gear, etc. Hopefully I'll sleep a bit better tonight. Truth be told, I'm just happy to be away from home. That whole dream and voices business last night was awful. Can't shake the idea that someone was in the house with me. Well, that's all for now. Twist out. Sunday, June 8th. A very tall man. James here. I wasn't planning on making another recording today, but as fate would have it, I bumped into an odd-looking character in the street whilst out perusing cafes and restaurants. You know what it's like when you're sauntering along, minding your own business, and you bump into an oddball who for some reason wants to tell you his life story? Well, such an oddball collided with me this evening. He was a tall chap. Very tall, actually, at least 6'5", and thin. Looked to me like he hadn't eaten in a month. Not that he looked like a tramp, just a bit grey in the face. Dark yellow rings circling bloodshot eyes. Yeah, I'd say he was in his 50s, but he could have been 70. Anyway, his appearance was one thing, but it's what he said that got me, rattled me. He looked at me as I strolled towards him, held a hand up like a child answering a question in a classroom, and lunged forward. Right in my face he was. And from out of his mouth, a gaping hole missing most of its teeth, spewed the words, "continuous screams." He coughed then and just stared at me, like he was trying to get a good look at my soul. A pleading expression crossed his face, and then he took off. Massive strides he took, this guy, disappearing between two buildings on Burrowgate. I mean, what the hell's all that about? Am I on the right track, or am I heading down a path from which there's no return? Really worried now, sitting here in front of a coronation chicken sandwich, wondering whether or not that weirdo is still out there. I kept a lookout over my shoulder on the way back to the guest house, made triple sure nobody saw me enter the place through the side door. Omens. The experience in my sleep last night, this gaunt chap on the street. Is there an alarm going off somewhere? Cold feet? Twist out. Monday, June 9th. Ready to go. James here. Monday, June 9th. Quick word this morning before I set off. I'm armed and ready to go. Lapel mic, condensers, headlamp and torch. Spare batteries, the usual stuff. Enough food to last a couple of days. Trail mix, pork jerky, apricots, all the good stuff. Sleep was dreamless last night. Probably because I barely slept a wink. Was repeatedly disturbed by sounds in the night. Nothing I'd attribute to a gangly character creeping through the undergrowth, just the general sounds of the night. The occasional passing car, the hooting of owls, the barking of foxes. It's surprising what can happen when you're suffering from an overstimulated imagination, which means, of course, that I'm in for a blast down there today. Anyway, just thought I'd make a note of my state of mind prior to heading out there. On edge, but highly motivated. I'll check in again by the cave entrance. Twist out. Monday, June 9th. The antechamber. James here. Was going to check in by the cave entrance, but figured I'd make sure I could access the facility before firing the gear up again. Bit wasteful to keep turning things on and off prematurely. Anyway, I've made it to the antechamber. Doesn't look like anybody has been through here since my last visit, though, like I said before, I'm not sure what kind of evidence someone might leave behind. I picked my way through the exterior door in the cave entrance, descended the 500 steps again, and picked the second door, which, as had been the case on my first visit, was icy cold to the touch. The well-lit corridor was the same, very much like a refrigerator. Honestly, it's so ridiculously cold down here today that if I wasn't wearing a fleece, I'd have had to turn back. As I say, everything is much the same as it was the last time I passed through here. The surgical table is still here. Nothing else has been added to it. I'm going to push on through the double doors, back into the gloomy heart of 4467. By the way, the text on the door here, vessel, AST. AST, I believe, is short for Asterion or Asterios. It's the Cretan name of the Minotaur, meaning the Starry One, linking the Minotaur to the constellation Taurus. Could it be that the accountant Jack Barlow described an encounter with a Minotaur-like being in that underground temple? If so, one can only hope there isn't something equally as dreadful lurking down here. I mean, why else use the word vessel, unless you're implying that something's contained? But it's ridiculous, I know that. There's absolutely no chance whatsoever that a mythological creature is hiding under the Cumbrian fells. Ha! Still, you have to wonder, what is the purpose of this place, and the other facilities like it across the globe? What effect might these supposed electromagnetic anomalies have on human beings? Well, enough surmising for now. I'm heading through the double doors. The lights are on. The bulbs I described overhead, all now on. And unlike the corridor behind me and the antechamber, it's warm in here. Weird. It's dead silent, though. And that carpet, it really is foul. I'm seeing it in a different light, though, now. That article in the Penrith Post, we dream of a house. Naturally, the thought had already crossed my mind. But could it be that the locals were dreaming of this place? dimly lit by overhead bulbs, carpeted halls. I'm looking at the floor plan again. I still can't make head nor tails of it. Without being able to pinpoint my location on it, it's next to useless. And honestly, it's perplexing, like the labyrinth of Daedalus. I'm going to head down the corridor. Again, it's ridiculously quiet down here. The blue door is coming up on my right, the door to the lab where I procured the tape recorder. I'm going to carry on past it. No need to go back in there. The corridor goes on and on. It's the strangest thing. I'm looking at a figure X ahead of me, 4 sections. The carpet, the walls either side of me, and the ceiling overhead. It's as though it stretches out into infinity. I'm not seeing any other doors either. It reminds me of a computer game. I used to have an interest in map design. Made a few endless corridors in Doom-Ed just to see how far you could push the engine. But this place doesn't resemble the industrial passageways of Doom. It's more like the labyrinthine basement in The Seventh Guest. God, that game did a number on me. And then there's the horribly lifeless stone corridors of Dungeon Master. In fact, that's exactly what this place reminds me of. Some procedurally generated passageway, possessing the surface properties of a dated house, this ugly orange carpet, the plain plastered walls, the... Just heard something. Gonna keep going for now. Might kill the mics for a while, though. At least until the scenery changes. Twist out.
Part 11. The Window.
Monday, June 9th. The Red Door. James here. Found another door. This one's on the left. It's red. Bad sign. It's like the blue one in every other respect. Porthole window, opaque glass. Appears to be open. What the? Feel like I know this place from somewhere. But where? It's a small bedroom. There's a decent-sized wardrobe to my left, and a round table in the middle of the room. There's a dresser to my right, facing the wardrobe, and on the back wall, directly opposite the door, is a large window. Darkness beyond. In fact, there's nothing beyond. Just a wall back there. There's a lamp on the table, an oil lamp, a box of matches next to it. Oh well. There we go. Not really sure what's going on in this room. Like I say, it's basically a bedroom with a dining table where the bed should be. There's a music box on the table. Is that melody vaguely familiar? I can't work it out. I'm suddenly really tired. Like, oh my God, really lethargic. Gonna have to sit down. Oh, God. Oh. With the piggies, swimming with the pigs, swimming with the piggies.
At the bottom of the lake.
Whoa, wait, who's that? Who's there?
Jane.
Jane? Where are you? I can't see anything.
Don't know, it's dark. Can't see you either.
What's that? Is that you?
I don't know, it isn't me.
Hello?
What the hell is that?
Shh! It's coming.
What's happening?
Shh! I think it's passing us.
Where are we?
1 sec. We're underground.
Underground?
Yeah. Do you remember how you got here?
No. Do you?
I came in through the front door.
Front door?
Well, not really. It's a base or something. Government facility. You don't remember anything?
No, I just woke up here. The room looks familiar, but I just can't place it right now. Who are you?
My name's James, but listen, no time for introductions. We need to get out of here.
How?
Wait,
What is it?
that window. I swear to God it didn't go anywhere before.
What do you mean?
I mean that when I first came in here, that window was walled up on the other side.
What?
Yeah, I know, it doesn't make any sense. Seems like there's something out there now.
Looks like a long way down.
Let's see if we can open the damn thing first. Watch out.
What, you think we should climb down?
Rather that than find out what that thing is lurking on the other side of the door. Come on.
I can't.
What do you mean?
I'm afraid of heights.
Are you afraid of mythical creatures?
What?
Never mind, come on, I've got you. Hang on to me.
I'm not sure about this.
Don't think about it. Close your eyes and... Whoa!
James!
Shit!
Part 12. Continuous Screams.
What are you doing?
Checking my mics. Landed on them in the fall. Lost a condenser. Others look alright though. Shit.
Why do you have microphones?
I record my adventures.
Adventures?
Yeah, visits to places like this. Hidden places, abandoned places. Places off the beaten track. Where the hell are we anyway?
Looks like a garden.
Is that a dome above our heads?
I can't tell. Can't see the sky. Any sky.
What happened to the window we just climbed through?
It's gone, like it was never there to begin with. I've got to be dreaming.
Why'd you say that?
Because none of this makes any sense.
What are you, lucid dreamer?
What does that mean?
Well, it means that when you dream, you're aware you're dreaming.
I dunno. Don't think so. You?
No, though since I started coming to this place, my dreams have been strange. And I think I've dreamt of you before.
I was just about to say the same thing. I've dreamt of being in that room with you. That room up there.
Same, just a few nights ago.
Right.
Jesus, what does it mean?
I don't know. But it's because I've dreamt of you before that I have to assume I'm dreaming now.
But what about me? I know for a fact that I was wide awake when I walked into this place.
For a fact?
Well, yeah. Feels real enough to me.
Don't all dreams feel real at the time?
I suppose so. Never given it much thought, to be honest.
So, what do we do now?
Well, if you're so sure it's a dream, can't you just pinch yourself or something? You know, wake yourself up?
It's not working.
Then perhaps we'd better explore our surroundings a bit. Where's that light coming from?
I don't know. It's just a vague glow. Doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere in particular.
This path has to go somewhere.
Yeah, but which way do we go? Right or left?
This way, that way, doesn't make a difference at this stage, does it?
To our left, then.
Whatever you say.
James.
Yeah?
You suggest me. What does it feel weird to breathe down here?
No, it isn't just you. Feels like I'm not getting anything when I take a breath.
Same. Not sure I can explain it any differently.
It's definitely not normal, that's for sure. Try not to think about it for now.
You're probably right.
Are you seeing that haze?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. Perhaps we're in some sort of indoor arboretum or something. Despite the lack of air, it feels humid somehow, and it's getting warmer.
It's stifling.
Is that a balcony up ahead?
Looks like it.
Come on. Huh. What is that down there?
I dunno, too hazy to tell.
Wait, it's a foyer. We dream of a house.
What did you say?
It's from an article I read in a local newspaper. We dream of a house. By somebody, I can't remember the name. Do you know it?
I don't remember the article, but I know the story. It's an urban legend. People dreaming of the same place. Sometimes a cliff overlooking the sea. An old factory full of toys. An old house.
Like this place? An old mansion?
Yeah, but I never had the dream.
Until now, apparently.
So, you think we're dreaming now?
I don't know anymore. Prior to bumping into you in that room up there, I was out cold. In fact, it felt like I'd been drugged. One minute I was on my feet, exploring. The next, well, dunno, I think I had to sit down and...
You fell asleep?
If that's the case, then there's no use fussing about it, is there? I suggest we keep looking for a way out.
Well, if that's an entrance hall down there, it might be worth seeing what's on the other side of the door.
Let's see if we can find a way down there.
The stairs?
Ah, yeah. I didn't see them before.
Come on.
You're awfully calm now. Feeling better?
I'm taking solace in the very real possibility that I'm tucked up in bed right now, back home.
And where's home?
Well, I've been around, ended up in Carlisle. Originally from Penrith, though.
If you are back home, tucked up in bed, then there's the very real possibility that I'm just a figment of your imagination. You know that, don't you?
True, making that equipment of yours redundant, too.
Damn it.
Quite an impressive space, isn't it?
It is that. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that those marvelous double doors over there serve as the entrance to this place.
Let's find out. Shit.
Let me try. I'm pretty handy with locks.
Pretty handy with false doors?
What?
Look, the doors are fused together. This was never meant to be a way in or out.
What the hell? And what's that on the wall?
Looks like a notice or something.
Yeah. Well, volunteers required, civil servants, medical research, well paid, support medical science.
Medical research?
There's another notice here. Don't dream. Arouse them in a dream and they'll follow. Thousands of them here already contained. But for how long?
What does it mean, James?
I think I know. Something to do with the conditions down here. This facility and others like it tap into something in the earth, some sort of receiver that harvests our dreams, thoughts even, like an aerial intercepts radio waves. Our fears are manifested here. Darkness, emptiness, mythological creatures.
Shh.
Is that?
What's happening to it?
Oh, the smell.
Is it dying?
Melting. Whatever it is, it's melting.
Malfunction. Dreamer error.
What now?
Status error.
Wait.
Malfunction.
I've heard this. No. I've read about this. Another base.
Malfunction. Dreamer error.
Another base?
Status
Yeah.
error.
Someone trapped in a place like this. An electronic voice issuing a message. Malfunction.
Malfunction. Dreamer error. Status error.
We're awake,
Malfunction.
Jane. We have to be. At least one of us must be. Like I said, this station, it's designed to intercept our dreams. Capture their contents, contain them.
Malfunction.
So that when we dream, we're no longer in our own heads. We come to this place. We're studied, and not just one at a time. Dozens of us, possibly hundreds of us. Well, what if I crossed paths with you as you dreamed, Jane?
Malfunction.
That room up there, could it have been a manifestation of your bedroom? What would that do to the two of us, coming into contact like that?
It might cause the system to malfunction.
Malfunction.
We might find ourselves ejected from it, dropped into a dream from which we'll never awaken.
Are we
Malfunction.
trapped here?
What might we be trapped here with?
Oh my God.
What? What?
Malfunction.
As every eye would shun. A cupboard of dreams. Boundless nightmares.
June 11, 2003. The Cumberland News, based in Carlisle, publishes an article on one Jane Marsh, resident of Springfield Road, who seems to have inexplicably disappeared from her home on June 9th. Current whereabouts unknown.
If you enjoyed listening today, be sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the red subscribe button below. After doing so, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to receive new content notifications. If you'd like to support our work and receive exclusive perks, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. To support us in other ways, see the video description for links to our Bandcamp and Patreon pages, our merch store over at Teespring, and further information relating to our releases on Audible, iTunes, and Spotify. And until next time,